White Knuckle is an attempt at combining the challenge and terror of climbing with the frustration and horror of falling down a whole lot. And while the game is still in early access, there is definitely something special here for fans looking for something very challenging to climb, fall, and climb again. The footage you are seeing is based on the 1-year anniversary build of White Knuckle and may not represent the current version of the game. We are trapped in a massive superstructure where something is rising up trying to get us. And in order to escape, we must climb, and you guessed it, climb some more. Now, the game itself is built on you using your left and right hands in order to grab a variety of holds in order to pull yourself up. Each hand has its own grip meter represented by the color of the hand and the color of the icon. And you'll find that your grip degrades faster when you're doing more extreme motions such as jumping while hanging. And you'll need to manage this and figure out your best way up each time. The game itself makes very great use of procedural generation and kind of stitch the various areas together. Each biome is made up of kind of mega sections. Each section has kind of its own unique theme, which will affect what you're going to be doing. One section, such as the pipe organ, involves you in a very closed space trying to dodge hot steam that will knock you off. Another area will be about using wind to propel yourself higher up and not into fans or enemies. There are, at this moment in time, 2 kind of checkpoints in the game that will allow you to save your progress. But if you don't have any save disks, or you end up dying too many times, you are going back to the start. And White Knuckle is not a game that will hold your hand. The enemy or the mass that is chasing you will fill up behind you as you're climbing up, and one wrong grip, one miscalculated jump, and you're falling right in and going to a game over. Since the game has been on early access, there's been meta progression unlocked. Now, the meta progression here is not designed to kind of make the game like super easy or give you all kinds of crazy powers. It's more or less quality of life features. You can unlock trinkets that you can start the game with that give you like a small benefit. There's also bindings that you can add to make things harder, and you better believe there are people who have played this on like super max bindings to make things extra challenging. As you unlock more of the meta progression, it unlocks features such as an item storage, as well as being able to acquire more perks. The perks are really the main way that differentiates each run of White Knuckle from another. You can unlock abilities such as increased grasp length, more stamina, double jump, yes, this game I guess is part Metroidvania, and more. And your ability or your need for them is really going to be dependent on your skill and mastery of the game. And that's one thing that White Knuckle does really well. This is a game that rewards mastery over its various elements and understanding. So, as a great example, a lot of the general path in each biome was kind of considered quote-unquote the safest or the most apparent, is oftentimes the one where there will be the most traps, or the one that's going to put you in the most positions to possibly get killed. If you have the right items, or you know where you can grab to get yourself up, you can oftentimes take a more direct route that may look more dangerous on paper, but will oftentimes be faster and get you around a lot of the more nastier hazards. As you go through the different biomes, there's more things that are introduced to really mess with your own ability, and more importantly, add a spin on this whole climbing horror aspect. At one point you're introduced to a very nasty redacted that will chase you in the dark. And of course, the game's final area, at least right now in the build, is a gauntlet of death pits, jumps, and a lot of nasty things coming to get you. And as you learn, or if you're able to learn this game, there is certainly a lot here to play. But it does present some very frustrating learning pains, growing pains, and falling pains to play this one. Because of the fact that one wrong calculation will end your run, it means that you're always on that edge of, I'm going to succeed or I'm going to die. And as I played more White Knuckle, it really reminded me a lot of playing Spelunky 1 and 2. And people who are longtime fans know that I was not the biggest fan of either Spelunky from a roguelike perspective. And White Knuckle, at least at this point with the build, kind of falls into kind of the same issues that I had. In that the roguelike elements don't necessarily lead to the runs feeling all that different once you know what you're doing. And what I mean by that is because this game is so technical and player focused, it means that once you know or you understand how the procedural generation works, understand what you can and can't do with your own skill in the items, it really just becomes a matter of execution. There are some items that are really damn good, such as the injectors that increase your run and jump speed, or the popper bugs that grant you Spider-Man grab when you need them. But it's still that case of you need to be good at this game in order to play. Like, there's no one item that's going to just make a run an auto win. And once you get that first win, then it kind of like loses a lot of that edge because you know exactly what the game wants you to do. It's just a matter of executing it the same way almost every single time. And that's why there are a boatload of challenge scenarios, the unlocked hard mode, which I have not had a chance to beat at this point. And again, this is a game that for the people who get good at it, they are going to get damn good at it. I've watched people do some insane maneuvers that I have no idea I will ever be able to achieve when I'm playing it. But the game, as I said, can be frustrating to play because there are cases where it just feels like I'm losing because I don't know where the heck I'm supposed to go. And the later sections in it gets very, very dark. You have a portable light that you can activate, and one of the trinkets is a headlight, which provides less lighting. But you see, the challenge of this game is that you also have to learn the kind of finger Tetris that goes into the high-level play. Being able to hold one button down while going to your inventory to access an item, to then quickly swap hands in order to keep your grip from failing. Once you get good, as I said, you're going to be climbing and jumping like a pro. But I can imagine this game, much like with the Spelunkies, having an incredibly high churn rate. This is not a game for someone who is A, easily frustrated, or B, afraid of heights. I've heard that there are plans to add a VR mode to this at some point, and I can only imagine this either curing or creating whole new cases of vertigo in the future. Still, I respect the heck out of this game. This is a very unique and original take on the roguelike and on horror. And if you don't mind the frustration of falling, and you're looking for that success that comes with a very challenging climb, this will come with a very easy recommendation. And I do wonder how much more there'll be in this game as it gets developed further. Since the launch, besides meta progression, there have been shortcut biomes added that provide you with a shorter, more challenging section, with the reward being you can get through the game in almost a half or even faster of time since you're skipping a lot of the earlier stuff. And ultimately, as I say with a lot of these more challenging games, White Knuckle is a game that it knows what it wants to be. There are accessibility features that allow you to highlight the actual kind of like man-made handholds, but it doesn't quite show you kind of the level's innate handholds, such as like the edges and corners of things. And I swear that I've had cases where it looks like that this is an edge, but no it's not, and you miss it. And learning the physics can also be a bit of a headache at the start. This is one of those games where if you just slightly bump your head on a corner while you're jumping, it's going to push you out. And that push out can easily get you out of range of grabbing, and then you're going to fall. So with everything said, White Knuckle was played with, I believe, a press key. If you want your game for a future stream and video does not involve death, climbing, or frustration, be sure to get in touch. And if you are one of the few who are crazy enough to do all the climbing and jumping required, let me know what you think about this one down below. I'll be certainly playing more of this one when it hits 1.0 at some point, but for now I am going to rest my fingers, my climbing gloves, and my blood pressure for the future. So thanks for watching, and come back for more discussions on game design and indie games coming real soon. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and you're interested in more in my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.